Welcome to TLC, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, restaurants, business, and real estate. Hi, I'm your host, Troy Anderson, along with my co-host, Pamela. And we're here to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community. This week, we also have a special guest, Adam Acampora at Woodinville Wine Country. He's the executive director. Welcome to the show. Hopefully I pronounced your name right.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Well, you did better with your name than you did with mine last week.
Oh, yeah. I chewed yours up in my mouth and spit it out.
Oh, dear. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for spending some time with us today, Adam. So we're going to jump right into our first segment of our podcast, and that is Sipping on Success, where we talk about wine because that's one of Troy's passions, and obviously we're in Woodinville and there's plenty of them to choose from. So what have you got in store for us today, Troy?
Well, I've got one of the pioneers of wine in Washington, not necessarily local to Woodinville, but definitely a Washington wine, and somewhat of an old dog. It's a little bit older.
Is that really what we're calling them? An old dog?
Well, porch pounder, old dog.
No.
I like to get paid with the porch pounder.
Yeah, I take umbrage with that one.
All right, it's not a porch pounder. This is definitely a delicate wine, and it's red.
That's all you're giving us?
Made from grapes?
Made from grapes.
Right.
Thanks, Adam.
That's always a good start, Adam. Thanks for
that. Not all wine's made from grapes.
No,
This
there's
is
elderflower, and there's that's the only one I can think of. Yeah.
So Adam is also studying to be a sommelier, correct?
No, Wine and Spirit Educational Trust. So
okay.
Diploma. It's funny, the Cours Sommeliers is better known in the United States, and the WSET program is better known across the world.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but then what does that get us when you do that?
What does that get us? That gets us nothing. No.
What's your expertise level then when it comes to this diploma that you're doing?
So diploma is the last step before going for a Master of Wine.
Oh.
Okay.
So if you want to pursue an MW, you have to go through the WSET program, and you have to go through this.
Okay, so next time somebody asks you, don't play it down quite so much, right?
Sounds pretty intense to me.
It does, right?
What?
So what we thought would be fun, though, is because you're an expert, Troy decided we were going to do a blind taste.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
This works with the grapefruit soda I just had, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need a palate cleanser?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, what is it you want Adam to tell us about this wine?
Just if he can identify it, and if not, if he can come close, that'd be great.
I like this because it means I don't have to say anything about the wine this week.
It's not pure varietal, it's a blend, right?
It is a pure varietal. It might have blending grapes in it.
Well, it's from Washington State, so
Washington State,
it's going
of
to be
course.
Cab Merlot more than likely.
Well,
Maybe a little Petite Verdot. I'm just smelling it,
check it out.
As Pam likes to call it, we're aerating.
Aerating, yes. For those that are not watching on YouTube, we are aerating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's breathing. We're letting it breathe. Although you did pour this into the decanter
I put
a
it
while
in the
ago.
decanter, probably
The
about.
baby decanter?
The baby decanter.
It is a
yeah.
little baby decanter,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, normally we just pop the cork and, jump straight in.
go
But
straight
we
away,
thought
yeah.
you were coming, the expert was coming, so we would decant.
It's so funny. Like for the testing, they make you go through and do the whole sampling, and you get so caught up in doing that you kind of get tired of drinking, and you kind of get tired of identifying sometimes.
So what are you saying? I'm boring you?
No. I'm just saying. Can I enjoy the wine?
You can enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't. Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to guess.
I'm going to give my 2 pennies worth, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flavor's good. I wouldn't say it's drying, but it's a little grainy.
Oh, grainy. Okay.
Grainy.
That makes sense?
Little more earthy.
Yeah, just like I feel little things on my tongue.
Right. Now that's a little bit of the tannin, the oak tannins probably from there. A little bit of some of the stem. So it was a little time with the skin and stem contact. Do you know who the production tech, the tech sheet on it at all, or?
Now you're getting really technical.
I don't.
Troy likes to drink it. So there is a little bit of discoloration to it too.
Yeah, it's a 2012.
Ooh,
So it's a
look at
little
you getting all
old.
fancy with
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
wine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, what's your verdict?
I think it's a cab.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of Merlot in there, but
Well, it's a varietal that's typically grown in Napa really well, not grown in Washington very much.
That's going to be Zinfandel.
It's a Petite
Petite
Sirah.
Sirah. Oh, wow.
And
Okay,
it's
I'm
it's
way
not
off.
not Syrah like a big bowl,
Right, right, right.
Washington Syrah. It's Syrah, Sirah.
That's why I didn't expect that at all, because I was thinking Washington wine, and again, we don't see a Petite Sirah at all.
And this is Thurston Wolf. It's been in my wine fridge, and so the label got all rubbed off.
Oh.
Love-hate with those wine fridges.
Well, it's all right. And I brought a wine, too.
Did you?
I did.
Oh my gosh, what a
And-
treat.
And I know you were going to have a wine, and I'm going to do the same thing to you.
Oh.
I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to let you call
Don't
what
put
this
me on the
is.
spot because I have no idea.
Oh,
Because
no.
this is very Washington, and this
Okay.
is very Woodinville.
Very
Okay.
Washington, very Woodinville.
So this has definitely got more of that brown hue to the edges
Yeah.
of it. So just for those that aren't watching us on YouTube and listening to the podcast and can't see what we're doing, yep, definitely more of a brown on the outside.
And this may be a game of is it vinegar or is it wine?
Oh, it might
okay.
be that old, huh?
Okay.
It might
Okay.
be that old.
Okay, but it's got good color if it's that old. I mean,
Yeah.
Washington wines tend to turn brown in 10 to 12 years. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put my hands up here and say I know nothing, and you're probably going to be really disappointed from what I have to say.
It smells a little raisiny.
Yeah, a little bit of sinew, little leathery
Yeah.
stuff going on.
I don't love the smell.
It's not vinegar.
That's not bad. That's better than I expected.
Really? Okay. What'd you bring us today?
So,
It's a lot more grape juicy.
Grape juice.
I am surprised at how fruity it is, considering how old this is. But I was fortunate enough when one of our iconic Woodinville wineries decided to shut their tasting room back in December. To get a swath of bottles of unknown lineage.
Really?
And one of them that I decided to bring today, this is a 1987 Cabernet
Wow.
from
Oh my
Columbia
gosh.
Winery.
That's old.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually have some bottles sitting in my office right now going back all the way to the 60s.
No way.
And we're going to play a game of is it vinegar or wine? And I had no idea what to expect.
Huh.
What was the most surprising thing about all the wines is they're all running around 12% alcohol. This is 12.7, which is surprising because any Cabernet you see today is going to be in that 14% range coming out of
Right.
Washington. And talk about evidence of climate change.
Yeah.
That temperature variation is huge.
I see. Yeah, so the hotter it gets, the more the grapes ripen, the
More
more
sugars, more
yeast.
alcohol, and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
The more the yeast is going to eat up all the sugar.
Yeah. But I thought it would be nice to share and see how it was. But 87, 20 to 21 months on oak,
Wow.
83.5% Cabernet from Columbia Valley.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing it with us.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah, I feel very privileged. I'm like, 1987. I feel like it should be a movie star, where they have all these older wines. And you and I talked about this once before, right? Do wines really last as long as we think, right? So it depends.
Well, no.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I just did a write-up for a blog talking about home wine cellars.
Yeah.
I know it's a big thing around here is home wine
Sure.
cellars. And, I think the big misconception is a lot of people think you can age all wines. And most wines, when they're released, they're meant to be drank, drunk, enjoyed, had with your friends.
Right.
Yeah, today's wine for sure. I mean, I found that some higher end Napas, some higher end Washingtons, and definitely I know nothing about French wine other than some of it tastes good.
Yeah.
Only some of it,
No,
Troy?
only some of it. But they tend to age longer, right? You want to leave those in the bottle a little bit longer typically.
It depends on the wine. I mean, it's the amount of fruit, it's the alcohol level, it's the tannins, it's the acid that all kind of contribute to its ageability. And most wines, really, when they're released, they're meant to be enjoyed. There's maybe 1% that you can really age for a long time.
So it's a real small percentage.
Yeah, maybe 10% can do a year or two kind of thing. Obviously, most whites are within that year.
Yeah.
Same with the rosés, but reds, a lot of them, nothing gets added to them by aging the bottle for the most part.
Okay.
That's the rarity.
Interesting.
Good to know.
Yeah. We learned something today.
Gotta drink through my cellar.
Yeah, I was going to say, the moral of that story is
Drink
buy
your
your
cellar.
wine. Yeah, and drink it. Don't.
Yeah.
Who are you holding it for?
There's.
Don't you buy it to enjoy it?
You buy it to enjoy it. You invite your friends over and have some glasses, and it's interesting when you see people that have these home cellars that are 500 wines deep, and it's like, are you running a restaurant here? Like, what's going on? I mean,
maybe it's just the prestige of having them.
It is. It is. And luckily, if you're in a town like this, there's a lot of wine collectors around here. Occasionally, someone is going to downsize, and there are people that are experts in wine that kind of help you clean your cellar out, and then they find people like me or people like Troy that may want to have a deal on some fantastic stuff.
Right.
And no, it's been stored properly.
Yeah, and we used to do that in Nashville all the time. I got my hands on some things that I would never have been able to find that were just from cellar cleanouts.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I need to find out how people can find out about
We should,
cellar
I
cleanouts.
should push all my friends to have a cellar reduction party.
Yeah.
Great idea. You're going to invite me
The
and Adam?
expert said you got to reduce your cellar.
Yes, because you're not
Of
actually
course.
enjoying it, so let somebody else enjoy.
Wine's meant to be enjoyed.
Exactly. All right, well, I think we're going to take a really quick break right now.
Okay.
And when we come back after the short break, we'll jump into our community connection with Adam and find out more about Woodinville Wine Country, where he is the executive director. So
Why you should be involved.
yeah, exactly. So we'll be right back after this short break, and we're going to enjoy a little bit more of this delicious wine that Troy and Adam brought in. So
Absolutely.
stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for a new home or looking to sell your current one? Tend Home Team is here to help. As community-focused real estate agents, we are dedicated to providing personalized service and support throughout the entire process. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned pro, we've got you covered. Let us take the stress out of your real estate journey. Contact us today at Tend Home Team and welcome back to TLC, Tend Life Community. Let's dive right into our next segment. Segment 2 is our community connection and real estate roundup. So we want to hear more from Adam about the Woodinville Wine Country and why you should get involved and what you guys do for the community.
Yeah. So I brought another present too. The glasses in front of you. Woodinville Wine Country is celebrating its 21st birthday
Wow.
next month. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
we were founded 21 years ago by when Woodinville only had 10 wineries or so.
Really?
You're
around
old
here.
enough to drink now.
You are old enough to drink now.
And then
Congratulations.
some.
So are we.
You're 21.
I know. It's
Yeah.
great. So we were founded back in 2002 by Chateau Saint Michel, Columbia, J.M. Cellars, Matthews, Silver Lake when they were still here. When Novelty Hill and Janik were two separate wineries. We existed for about a decade beforehand as the Cascade Winery Association and had members in North Bend and other places around the area. But really, in 2002, it was kind of consolidated to promote Woodinville as a world-class wine tourism destination.
Okay.
And over the years, our membership has grown from not just wineries, but breweries, distilleries, hotels, restaurants, and really just kind of, it's kind of a mix between being a trade association and a hospitality tourism association a little bit, because we have some of responsibilities to membership and making sure that they're growing successfully, and then connecting with the consumers to bring them into Woodinville and help them find a good time and enjoy the city and come back again and again, and maybe come back and move here.
Yeah, that'd be great. We are the Woodinville Wine Country Realtors.
You are.
We
You
are the
are.
realtor team.
We are.
Yeah,
Yeah, our
you are.
name is in your verbiage.
I know. Officially, our real estate imperial sponsors sponsoring the cause.
That's awesome.
And we appreciate that heavily. We our membership and sponsorship base. We're a nonprofit, so we exist by the will of all of you supporters.
So for those people that, so there will be a number of people out there that have no idea that the Woodinville Wine Country exists, right?
Mm.
So, and I'll put my hand up for a while until I met you and Troy. I didn't know you guys were a thing, right? So, how does Woodinville Wine Country contribute to the local community beyond, its promotion and production of wine, so that the rest of the community can understand what you guys are about,
Yeah.
you know, how you benefit everybody,
Yeah.
not just the wineries.
Well, we obviously it's not just the wineries; it's the I guess the economic impact that it really has to the community because we saw about 450,000 people come into Woodinville last year for wine tourism, and that's dollars from outside the community coming into the community that allow us then to, you know, if you look at the city's budget, you know, the city's budget is 3 times what it should be for the size, and a lot of that has to do with the sales tax collected from these tourists coming in that allow us to have these great, like the sports fields, you know,
Right.
that are here. We work hand in hand with the Chamber of Commerce with their Celebrate Woodinville events and their Winter Fest events. We are working with, or in discussions right now with Malbecs for a food bank event that we're going to host next, this coming fall, designed as a kind of a share the harvest activity where we're trying to bring food in, bring resources in for the food bank here.
Right.
Which
and
food
then,
bank?
The one over here at the Baptist Church.
Oh, the Woodinville Storehouse?
Yep.
Cool.
I was talking to the guy there about that the other day.
Yeah, we, at the auction last year, they really raised a ton of money for that.
Yeah, for the Woodinville Chamber of Commerce did, yeah.
It's a little insider tip because we just started discussions yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right, all right.
But it's all right.
We love it when there's insider
Hey.
tips.
And then, you know, we just wrapped up this past Monday. We held the first ever hospitality career fair.
I saw that.
Yeah, at Sparkman Cellars, and we had, you know, hotels, restaurants, wineries, breweries, and distilleries, some distributors. 19 businesses came out. We had first time we've ever done something like this before, but we ended up bringing in 55 potential employees.
Okay. I
That's
know
awesome.
during the pandemic, after that, there seemed to be the great resignation with the service industry.
Yeah, the hospitality and tourism industry is kind of struggling right now still.
Yeah, with staffing.
Yeah, and it's not just us; it's across the globe.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say, but you know, hospitality industry itself is kind of the canary in the coal mine when it comes to the economy and it comes to health, and it's the first one to feel the impacts because we are somewhat of a luxury spend for a lot of people, but it directly impacts those frontline workers. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool. You put that on.
Yeah, so it went well. I mean, it was something that needed to happen, and I think it's good because we put some people to work and hopefully continue to see those businesses flourish.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know we work hand in hand with a lot of state partners, so State of Washington Tourism. So I guess it's a little larger than the Woodinville community, but it's kind of the greater community itself.
Right, but I think, you know, you shouldn't discount the further afield because what we want to do is promote the area and have people come visit, right? So and not just visit, but there are people out there that are looking to potentially move to Washington or move to Woodinville, and provided resources for people so they can find that information. So what's the draw for Woodinville? Well, we've got all these fantastic wineries. We've got some great real estate companies like Tent Home Team. We've got, I had to get that one in there.
We
We've
got music. There's something going on, you know.
Exactly.
Even if you don't like wine, you can go out for music and not drink wine.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's plenty of outdoor activities. You know, we're not
Yeah.
far from Lake Washington and from all the hiking trails around here. And I just discovered that there's a sailboat marina, you know, about 7-8 miles away from here on the lake.
Oh.
And
I
they,
just learned something too there.
yeah, the sailboat club, you can get a membership and they have lessons, and then you can like rent out their, you know, Catalina 22s and things like
Wow.
that, and go enjoy the lake. So even if you don't own one, you can still take advantage of that and access the
Yeah,
waterway.
there's so many things to do.
Yeah. But I think that's why it's good having something like Woodinville Wine Country, because you're like you said, you're promoting tourism, but it's a good resource for many, many people,
Yeah.
right?
And it's, you know, we operate the visitor center here. It's in the heart of Wooden Creek in the Wine Alley.
Yeah.
And we probably see just as many locals as we do tourists. And like I say, we're more of a welcome center than just a visitor center. And
Yeah.
people come in and they ask, like, what's going on with the Malbecs development, you know, and you know, part of what we do is try to keep apprised of all the new happenings around the city.
Right.
What's going on with the Columbia property, you know,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. So we kind of serve as a resource for locals when they want to know what's going on.
I mean, that kind of leads into, what I was thinking about asking you with, you know, how WWC, I'm going to break it down
That's fine.
smaller because it's quite a mouthful.
It is.
Sorry.
trying to write my URL on my email
Yeah.
on forms is challenging.
So, with tourism in mind, what efforts are being made to attract more visitors to the area? And I know Troy and I have talked about this. There are some people that really want Woodinville to stay exactly as it is. They don't want that growth and development. But in order to continue to grow the economy and make sure that there's housing and jobs for people, we do have to invite people into the area. So, what's WWC doing?
Yeah,
I feel like it should be a match or something.
What's interesting is Woodinville is kind of a microcosm for Washington wine as a whole. We represent 10% of the wineries of the state. We see more wine tourists than any other region of the state. We pour 19 of the state's 20 AVAs here in Woodinville. But Washington wine, even though it's the second largest producer in the country, really about 75% of what we produce is being consumed by Washingtonians. And Woodinville, I feel like it's kind of the same way. Like I feel like about 70% of our tourists are kind of Washingtonians that
Live up the street.
Live up the street, belong to a wine club, or coming over from Seattle or West Seattle,
Right.
Gotcha.
which is great, which is fantastic. We love being that outlet and gateway for all of Washington wine to those locals. But as wineries want to grow, we need to see new customers come in.
Right.
And
Well, if it's your backyard, you're restricting the dollar value that's being brought in. So you want people to come stay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
I'll let you
so-
elaborate on that.
Well, so actually, I'm off to San Antonio in about 3 weeks with the State of Washington Tourism to the largest international tour operators trade show.
Okay.
And over the course of 3 days, I'm one of the delegates of the State of Washington Tourism's booth. So there's 8 of us in the delegation. The 8 of us are going to see 88 meetings, or one-on-one meetings as kind of speed dating with tour operators from the UK and Germany and Australia and all over the world, we're selling Washington, we're selling Woodinville as an experience that they're going to go back and work with their travel agencies and send people to us. And we know that the United States is a great destination that a lot of people want to immigrate to, not only visit, but then immigrate to, because they've had a great time and experience, and who knows what may come of those tourists if they come and visit us.
Right.
We have 10 German media folks joining me next week on a tour of Sparkman Cellars and DeLille and the Lounge. So we're going to treat them to some good Washington wine and some good Pacific Northwest food. So
Well, that's awesome. So what do you think Woodinville is missing? What?
Good question, Troy. I was just wondering, what do they need?
I have it in my head what they're missing, but
more hotels.
yeah,
I mean, that's obvious.
event space, right?
Event space, more hotels. I know there is music here at the wineries. I'm a little biased coming from Nashville because
Well, that's yeah.
we used to joke, you go to the gas station, you see A-class talent sitting at the
Yeah.
gas station playing for tips. But I think having other things to do in the off season would be fantastic. While it is absolutely beautiful here, those 3-4 months out of the year, it takes a little getting used to the weather.
It only rains twice a year here, Adam. What's
That's
the matter
true.
with you?
That is true. It
Once
only
for
rains-
3 months, the next time for 4.
That must
so-
have been a bit of a shock when you arrived.
It was, and the I'm feeling cold down in my bones, but it's
Yeah.
okay. You have the wine to warm you up. So, but no, I think that, this is always weird when I tell people this because obviously I'm the wine guy, but I want other things to do that are wine adjacent. I would love to see cooking demos and cooking schools here. I would love to
for
see
sure.
art galleries here. I would love to see boutique jewelry shops. I don't want to go down the whole tourist rabbit hole where there's a different taffy place and fudge shop every 3 doors. I don't want to see that
Right.
happen.
So
No, we do need more boutiques, though. There's not a lot for people to do after they're drinking wine. There's nothing to go over to look at.
Yeah.
And browse and
Art galleries,
Yeah.
there's a great little piece behind you. Where can I find that? And
right.
Yeah.
we have some fantastic photographers that have been working in the industry for years. Carol Hook with the Art Alliance,
Yeah, and this is
Duval's,
Duval.
Richard
yeah,
Duval's,
Richard Duval.
and some amazing stuff. And it'd be great if there was a gallery showcasing this work that could be purchased and
Right.
and kind of continue to reinforce the story.
Yeah, I mean, would the idea of pop-up shops so there's a rotation of it to kind of get the idea going that there is a going concern here in Woodinville for those types of things. If people are worried about putting a full investment in to start with, that maybe I'm just throwing it out there.
Have a rotating.
Yeah, just so that people can see there is more to Woodinville than just wine. Not that we're poo-pooing the wine. It's just that, but you've got a point. You want people's money to be spent in lots of avenues to keep them here and interested. So, a pop-up thing might be a good idea. So if anybody in power is listening, there you go. But also,
Hint, hint.
well, also, and maybe if there's entrepreneurs listening to this show that, might give some people some ideas of like, okay, there is a need for it.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't thought about it before that, okay, there is room for something else here.
Yeah, and I think there's also room for an enhanced culinary scene. I mean, I love the Herb Farm, and I love that we've got Barking Frog and the Lounge, fantastic restaurants. But it's so interesting because, you have and you can't see with my hands, I gesture with my hands sometimes, but, we have this incredible, world-class wine. We've got, I think, more 90-plus rated wines than anywhere else in the density. And we have some fantastic restaurants, but we don't have enough fantastic restaurants. And it's great that we now see Ethan Stoll coming here with his Ballard Pizza, and he's going to come into the Harvest concept. And how do we lure some of those other, restaurateurs or potentially, James Beard award-winning chefs to come into Woodinville? And whether they set up their own operation or they partner with a winery. A lot of these new wineries
have full kitchens.
Full kitchens. I mean, Brian Carter's place downtown with that open-air kitchen.
That's great food.
It's fantastic food. And it's even elevating little things like the charcuterie at Rocky Pond. It's the best charcuterie board I've ever had. And the chef is making the honeycomb, the pickled vegetables the chef does. I mean, it's incredible. So I'd love to see, some more restaurant concepts to kind of come and be enjoyed.
Right. Yeah. No, I would agree that as a Woodinville resident.
And
you'd like to do more than just drink wine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the wine.
No,
it's great, and we've got
beer and
we've got spirits and
coffee. I
coffee.
love Sidekick, but I'd love to have a roaster here. Can you imagine if we could, walk down?
Sidekick needs to be about 3 times as big.
I know, it's very popular.
I was there this morning.
Their pastries are great.
Oh,
Their coffee's delicious, and I'm not a
Fantastic.
huge coffee drinker, but their lattes are pretty good.
It's fantastic, and they're a block away from my office. I actually had to redesign my office though because I used to take a lot of meetings at Sidekicks, and they're always packed.
Always packed.
But that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's
that's
a great
sign that our economy is booming.
Well, and it's a great space too. It's a fun space.
Yeah, we'll need to get them on the show too.
Yeah, we should.
All right, so as we kind of come to the end of this section, just a couple of more personal questions so our listeners can get to know a little bit more about Adam. So as you alluded to, you're not actually from Washington. Shocking.
Neither are you, right?
No. I've been
Born
here
and raised
a
right here.
long
Right
time. Yes, Troy is a Washingtonian through and through. But what was the most surprising thing about Woodinville and the surrounding area when you moved here?
Besides the weather?
Well, yeah. That can't have been that much of a surprise, really.
No, I guess not. I've really enjoyed the greenery around everything all year long. I mean, even in the wintertime, just how green everything is, and when it's not raining, and just the sun, how it kind of it makes everything seem alive. I've lived in the Southeast for a very long time, originally from New York, and I've been out to the Southwest, and it's always depressed me, or going to visit my family that are in Colorado, it's always depressed me because everything's just so dry, and there's no green, and I'm like, I could never live there, and it's nice being able to look out the window and see all this emerald everywhere. You see the whole Emerald State.
Evergreen State, Emerald City.
Emerald City,
yeah.
So that's been great. And then I really enjoy how the communities kind of, they put I guess an importance and emphasis on the outdoor recreation in the parks. Yeah. So we have a 3.5-year-old, and I feel like every weekend we can go exploring a new playground in a new park, and we barely go 10 miles from the house, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's great for him because then he starts developing favorites, and I like this playground,
Yeah.
So we really enjoy that. And I know when he gets a little older, there are some skate parks and some BMX parks around here that he can enjoy. He's not there yet, but
Word to the wise: helmet, knee pad, elbow pads.
There's the mom.
Yes. Well, I've had one go through all of that, so yeah. So, oh, that's great. So,
and-
would that be kind of the best thing about it for you and your
I
family?
mean, yeah, it's been the opportunities, I think, and the connecting, the outdoor stuff for him. But we're also, my wife and I made a cognizant choice when we came this way because depending on what our son wants to do, the greater school system, not just North Shore, but the alternative schools that are around here, and it's almost like no matter what his interests are going to be, he can find a high school that kind of fits him. We have, fine arts, gifted program schools
Yeah,
here. We have tech schools. I think there's a high school that's devoted towards like outdoor environmental science and impact. There's plenty of STEM and tech stuff coming from the tech industry in Bellevue and Redmond. So it provides opportunities for him to pursue his interests and passions as he gets older too. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
A lot of places don't offer that.
Yeah. So there you have it. From
Sounds
Adam's
like you're
mouth
here
is like
to
he's
stay.
here for good,
Yeah.
and Woodinville and the surrounding area is just absolutely fantastic, and everybody should move here. Which then brings us on to the next bit, which is our real estate roundup, which is where Troy
Yes.
comes into.
That's what we do. We do real estate. So let's talk
Yes.
about it a little bit.
So yeah, let's do that. So I mean, there are so many topics we could
Thanks,
kind of.
Affordable housing?
Yeah, right?
That's another.
Hey.
That's another conversation. But yes.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something about that? The
No.
affordable housing.
Well, I mean, I think the city needs to reconsider their position on some of the zoning, not necessarily changing it, but having a little more allowed uses as long as
Yeah.
you can meet the design criterias. And septic's a big thing in Woodinville. There's not a lot of sewer except downtown area. So the R1 zoning, certainly you can have detached units if the septic system will take it, or if you can redesign it. So that'll help with some of the middle to affordable housing.
Yeah.
East Rail Flats has got 21 affordable units going in there out of their 208 units, and there's going to be actually some townhomes for sale. So
Which is great, and
Yeah.
that's I'd love to see more opportunities to own around here. We ended up in Bothell, just outside of
Okay.
Woodville, and we're renting right now. But we want to purchase, and there's a lot of opportunities to rent. But if I want to stay here and set up roots, I want to purchase. So I need to talk with a tend and how do I fit something into my budget and make it work.
right.
Wow, we can definitely help you with that after the show.
Yeah.
All right, Troy, do we want to hit on the topic of open houses?
Yeah, let's talk about open houses since
Okay.
it's getting a little nicer and it's definitely staying light later.
Yeah, so why, you put your house on the market and your real estate agent says, okay, we should host an open house. What's the benefit?
Well, the benefit is really to get increased exposure from a listing agent perspective, which is my perspective. It gives me an event to market, so I can do social media posts, I can door knock the neighborhood, I can invite my database specifically to this event. I don't have to set up individual appointments to show the house. They can all come at once. It's basically just increased exposure and an advertising event for us as agents to be able to promote the listing. And we like to do ours early. We like to get started early on our promotion. So
Yeah. So, what should a homeowner consider regarding an open house? I mean, there's obviously some, not pitfalls, but, when you put your house on the market, you obviously want to keep it looking kind of tidy and pristine when you've got people coming through. That you mentioned there about doing the open house, it consolidates that, right?
Right.
Is there anything else that people should consider with the open house? Is there that maybe deter people from wanting to do an open house?
well, you got a bunch of strangers coming through your house, but you're made a conscious choice to put your house on the market and get it sold, and so now it's gone from a home to a commodity. I mean, just in simple terms, the pitfalls could be damage to something. So I always suggest to people that if it's not replaceable, you need to put it away or store it.
Can I ask a question? 'Cause I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
a lot of
Put us on the spot. We
well,
love it.
I know a lot of houses. When you go in the open house, they've staged it beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's great because you can see the potential of what it would be, but what about having some realism of those toys that are on the stairs, and little things like that? Like I want to
That
picture
Lego
myself
you're
here.
gonna step on in the middle of the
I want to
night.
picture myself here, but
The Lego that's going to make you go, what?
Yeah.
stay away from that.
Yeah. Well, no, I think, you
Well,
and I
that's
talked
part of
about this,
prepping
right?
the house for the market. Is we definitely clean and give it the best curb appeal we possibly can. working with the homeowner. We've got some new programs now where we actually pay for a lot of renovations. If you wanted to, if you don't have the means to renovate, we would renovate the house to a certain extent, and then whatever's going to add the best value, pay for that up front, and then get paid at closing to get that ready. We could add Legos if I thought that was a good marketing strategy.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it is, but going back to your question though, Adam, because you and I have talked about this, right? And it's really when you have all of your personal items around in the house, it's hard for people to visualize themselves living there, because there's an emotional attachment to things, right? So when it looks a certain way, people get excited about the possibilities of what they can do for it, but they can't necessarily see past somebody else's furniture or toys or photographs or artwork.
Right.
So making it that kind of home decor magazine thing for the majority of people is easier. There are the side cases like you clearly that want to see the toys on the stairs, but I think you might be in the minority there.
Most
you agree?
people want to come in and see something that they can imagine themselves in. So we try and, from my perspective, you've probably been in a new construction open house, and they're staged to the max.
Yeah.
We don't do that because we like to have some spaces to be able to imagine. And actually, one house that we just listed and sold here recently was on the market for 165 days with another agent. We took it over, came in and did virtual staging.
Yeah.
And we also did renderings of what it could look like. I mean, the house was perfect, pristine, but it was just a little dated in the kitchen and needed some
gorgeous hardwood floors.
gorgeous hardwood floors. Yeah.
And is it able to negotiate? So if you're coming from out of state and you're moving here and you found this beautiful house that's been staged beautifully, is there usually ways to negotiate to keep the furniture and just I want it as is because I don't want to move my stuff from?
Hey, you know what? I've sold houses like that before. Yeah.
Yeah?
Especially if it's staged. The stager oftentimes has a good line on furniture, so they just here's your price.
Yeah, and sometimes they use bits of furniture that belong to the homeowners too, and they're usually quite happy to part with those
Not
things
move
too.
it sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. So yeah, good question.
Yeah. I mean, everything's negotiable.
So, open houses, they're a yes.
Open houses are a yes. Yeah, there's a lot of benefit to the agent. So I mean, don't get your hopes up that it's going to sell through an open house, although that does happen. Most of the people that come to an open house are in the early stages of home buying process, and there's also a lot of neighbors that come by and just want to see what you've done to your house, which is not a bad thing because they have friends that might want to move into the neighborhood.
I was just going to say, they've got friends, they've got family who maybe want to be closer. It's a great starting point for them, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I think that's all we've got time for today.
Adam,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for coming
Well,
on, and thanks for bringing this special wine.
Yeah, before we close out, where can people find out more about Woodinville Wine Country and get in touch with you, Adam?
WoodinvilleWineCountry.com. You can find out all about Woodinville. There's a fun little interactive map that actually is a great tool for people that are looking at the area too, because there's an interactive map there that you can filter out not only wineries but parks, outdoor activities, breweries, restaurants,
really?
shops. Yeah, it's all in the interactive map. They'll plan your visit.
Okay.
You can actually build your custom itinerary to what you like, and then send it to your friend, and yeah.
Are we gonna go
No,
play with that this
I
afternoon?
just looked at it the other day to find out where the music was playing.
No, the whole thing's there, and you found the music from the event calendar, which is great. If we get a lot of the businesses around the area are constantly putting up their events on our event calendar, and that gives again someone that's coming here an idea of what's going on.
Up there too.
Yeah,
You could.
We could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
You could, but yeah, WoodinvilleWineCountry.com or stop in the Visitor Center in Wine Alley.
All right, wonderful.
That's a good place to stop.
Yeah, it really is. All right, well, thanks very much for tuning in to TLC, Tend Life Community. If you want to find out more about Tend Home Team, you can check out our website at tendhometeam.com, or you can give Troy a call at 206-504-3660.
And be sure to subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ding the dinger. And
Yep,
we've got a good, not to discount Adam, but we've got a great guest coming on next time too.
Yeah.
Are they bringing beer?
They're bringing spirits.
Oh,
That's
Northwest?
the only teaser.
Northwest is actually right next door.
Yeah.
Their bottling facility is right down below us.
Great.
That's the only teaser we're going to give. So
Yeah.
anyway, I am your co-host Pamela, and I'm here with Troy Anderson and Adam from Woodinville Wine Country.
Thanks everybody for listening.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Hi there, podcast listeners. Are you in the market for a new home or looking to sell your current one? Well, we have the perfect solution for you. Introducing Tend Home Team, your go-to real estate company here in the Pacific Northwest. With over 20 years of experience, our team of experts know the local market inside and out, and we pride ourselves on being community focused so you can trust us to find the perfect home for you and your family. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned homeowner, Tend Home Team has got you covered. Our passion for real estate and commitment to providing exceptional service will ensure a stress-free experience every step of the way. So why wait? Give us a call or visit our website today and let Tend Home Team help you find your dream home. We can't wait to hear from you. 206-504-3660 or tendhometeam.com.